This video is going to cover the BattleGround Heroes Discord bot. Now, this bot is added to my server, and you can also join the main BattleGround Heroes Discord server. Both of those will be linked in the description of this video. But I just wanted to go over the uses of this bot, how to do basic commands, and how to progress from when you start using the bot for the first time to the point where you're dueling other opponents. The very first time that you use the bot, you have to use a start command. So you do /start. Oop, I typed that right. /start. And so when you do that, for me, I've already used it, and so it gives a cheeky response. But when you, as a first-time user, use this command, then it'll give you a full deck of 25 cards already made for you. It's a pretty solid deck, and you can, if you want, go straight into dueling other opponents with that deck. But if you want to use a few other functions of SAP, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So two very important things to start off is this bot uses / commands. So you use /, it auto-populates the common commands. Two ones that are very important to start with are the help command, which auto-populates there, which gives you 4 different options: deck building, dueling, card packs, and miscellaneous. You just tap the button underneath it to choose which category you want help with, and you can swap between them. But the other command will be the commands command. And so you type in the commands, or it'll auto-populate, and it just shows you all the commands that you can use and a little description next to them, which will kind of aid you if you're wondering, how do I do this? Do commands, look through them, and it'll show you if you want to do this, whatever. That's pretty self-explanatory, but very helpful for a new person. And so when you first start, of course, you're given your deck, but if you want to create your deck with new cards, you'll need to buy packs. And for that, you go to the shop, and it'll show you the different packs that are available: basic pack, premium, master pack. Different ranking of gold costs per pack, from 1 to 5 to 1,000 gold. Then also the packs will remove certain rarity cards as you progress. So basic pack can have any card, premium pack can have any rarity card without commons, and master pack will have the rarities that are above common and rare. So, which will be epic, legendary, and mythic. And so you'll likely not have enough gold to buy the master pack to start off, but you can right away use the daily command. You can use this every day for 100 gold. I, of course, have already used this, so it'll tell me, come back in 8 hours. But there are a few other ways to earn gold as well. One is through dueling, which we'll get to in the future of this video. And that'll give you a little bit of gold if you win or lose your duel. There's another way, which would be through promo codes. You do promo, PR, auto-populates, and you just type in the code here. There's no active promo codes that I know of right now that you can use, but I'll try to get one for the end of this video if you'd like to join and use that. But we'll see. And then the last way is through the gamble option. You do /gamble, you type in the gold that you're willing to lose. Let's say it's 50. And when you type this, it'll notify other players in the server, and they can choose to join the gamble. And one person out of whoever joins will win the total amount of gold put into the gamble. But we're not going to do that right now. So if you decide to buy a pack, then all you have to do is do buy, and then it will let you fill in category. You tap category, obviously pack, that's the only option right now. The item, you can choose which rarity you want. We'll just choose basic for the hell of it. And quantity. You don't need to type quantity unless you're buying more than one, but I'm just going to buy one, and there it shows buy 1 basic pack for 100 gold. Now to open this, you just do /open and choose what pack you want to open. I'm not going to type the quantity because it's only one, and there it gives me 5 cards. Pretty good draw with getting a legendary from a common pack here, but as you can see, it's mostly going to be commons. But of course, I've been testing this app for a little bit, so these are all duplicates for me. And later on, these shards will be used to create other cards, but right now they just go to your bag and it'll show, obviously I have 65 common shards and a lot of other shards. I'll just go with that. But that's not super important right now. Unless you pull higher rarity cards from your packs, then you probably won't be deck building for maybe a couple days. But once you have enough cards where you think that you can build a deck better than your base deck that is given to you, then what you'll do is you'll do /create, and you can choose any name here, but I already have my decks, my deck slots full. You're able to have 5 decks total. So you just do /create, create your deck, and then from there you can say add. So you say add cards to deck, you have to type in the deck name, and then from there you just type in the card's ID. So let's say I have a deck named Salt, and from that deck it's empty, and so I want to add certain cards. And so when you go through your cards list, it'll have a number of the card. So like let's say 1 through 100, and it's around that amount. So you want to add the card with the identity number 1 to your deck. All you have to do is have 1. And then you can add a space and add 2 and 3 and 33 if you want. If you have that card, you have to have the card to add it. But you can add these in sequence or you can add them individually. Now, because my deck is full, when I try to add it, it'll just say I have a maximum amount of cards. If you want to view the deck that you've created to see what cards you already have in it, you can say view deck and the deck name Salt. Not really Salt, but like what your actual deck name is. And so it shows all the cards that you have in there, and you can see maybe you don't want a certain card in, or you want to swap out a card. So then you can go through your deck and say view, if I could type correctly. As you can see, I have number 4 and 5. Now, personally, I went through all these cards and they're good. Now, the way that I determine if they're good is I look at the ratio of the Celestial Stones up top to what they have in terms of damage and health. And basically what I am trying to go for is like a 1.5 ratio or better. Sometimes this is a bit lower or a bit higher, but just like as a rough average. Now, this will completely change when effects are added to the cards. And again, this bot is in development, so in the future, cards will have effects, and this will completely change this. But for now, you just want a good ratio of what it costs versus what it deals in terms of damage and has for health. But you can view your cards and say, okay, this is a good ratio. Let me view the next one. If I could type view, and maybe I want to view number 16, which is in my deck. And so I'll see that. That one doesn't have a good ratio for the damage, but has a great ratio for the health. And so maybe that one I want to swap out for one that has a great ratio for both. But as you can see, you kind of just create your deck and then you can swap it out, or you can create a new deck from scratch. Now, if you want to create a new deck from scratch, what I would recommend is simply using /cards, and then you can type in the attribute. And now for attribute, then if you choose attack or health or cost, these will all show the highest attack, highest health, highest cost. Personally, I like to go by cost. And this is because when you start off your duel, you get 2 Celestial Stones. And again, this might change in the future, but you get 2 Celestial Stones to start off with. And so basically your 2 choices are to play 2 1-cost cards or 1 2-cost card. Or you can skip your turn, whatever, but not necessarily recommended. And so when you go by cost, it shows the highest cost first, and you go down from there. So personally, I like to add a few 1-cost cards to my deck. I don't like 2-cost cards. Now this is for the reason that when a card is defeated, the person who defeated the card and the person whose card was defeated both get half the cost. Now, if it's a 2-cost card, they each get 1. If it's a 1-cost card, they also both get 1. So in my thinking, as long as it's similar like health to attack as the 2-cost card, 1-cost cards seem to be better for early game. And so what I like to do is have high attack and not care about health as much for low-cost cards. And then as you go up, you want to have a pretty even ratio between damage and health, but leaning towards more damage, in my opinion. Now, that's just what I do, and you can create different strategies. And definitely will change when card attributes are added, but for now, that's what I do. So what I look here is, let's see, yeah, that's the end. So I'm looking here, I have 1-cost cards. So the 300 health, this number 72 at the bottom here, 300 health, 300 attack for 1 cost, that looks good to me. Number 21, 300 health, or 300 attack, 1 health, looks good to me as well. Number 19, 100 attack and 200 health does not look good. Same with 13, 50 attack, 550 health, does not look good to me. And then once you get a few 1-cost cards in there, I personally, what you want to see on 2-cost cards, if it's a really good ratio, I'll add it in, like the number 68 or the, let's see, number 10, then yeah, those I would add. And then you just go to 3 costs. Personally, as I explained, I would almost skip the even unless it's a really good ratio for the lower rarity card or lower cost cards. And once you get up to like 5 cost cards, then it doesn't matter as much. It doesn't matter. I would almost say it doesn't matter anymore at all. So when you're going up, let's say, like for instance, the number 33 Captain of the Guard, the attack 800, health 600, cost 4 is a really good ratio. See, as you can see, health is a 1.5 ratio. Attack is a 2 ratio because cost is 4, attack is 800, so that's a 2 ratio. So that's really good. So you can kind of sort through all your cards and see which ones you want to add. Now, when you start off, it'll be a lot easier because less cards to sort through. But as you can see, as you go up, it gets more complicated deck building. But I think you guys got the gist of that, so I will move on. Now, of course, there's some commands, like if you want to edit it, then you can do /remove, and then you type in deck name and the card ID that you want to remove, and then to add the card, let's see, replace the card, then you just do add and type in deck name again and the card you want to add. Now, if you want to reset a deck, you simply do reset deck, and it will remove all the cards from the deck, but will keep the name of the deck, so you don't have to make the deck again. But if you want to simply delete the deck in total and start fresh, maybe you want to change the name and remove all the cards in it, then you can simply do delete deck and then type the name of the deck you want to delete, and then you'd have to create a new deck from there. But now you have a deck, you know how to get gold, you know how to get new cards, build your deck, and so let's get into dueling. If you want to duel someone and they agree, then you just say duel, and then you say opponent, and let's say it's King Kai for the hell of it, and we'll choose mode, rank duel, and you can choose a wager if you want. If you're confident that you can win, or you just want to risk gold or whatever, you can choose whatever's in your bank account. The opponent also has to have enough gold to accept the duel, and so that's important to keep in mind. But generally, it's an agreed upon amount. You can kind of say, do you want to duel for 50, 200, whatever, and they'll say yes, and then you can type it in there. But let's say I just want to duel. Then it'll come up with a screen, and it'll give this guy a prompt, and he has to accept or decline the duel. So they recently added a feature actually between me recording the first portion of this video and this last portion on dueling, added an AI feature where you actually get to duel the BattleGround Heroes bot. And so I'm actually just trying this out for the first time, kind of interested to see how it goes. There might be a little bit of like bugs or issues in between, but first time reaction for me, I guess, on this too. In any time you do a duel, then you will need to type the name of your deck, and as your opponent will also need to type their name of their deck. And so my deck that I'm going to use is Salt. So I'll just type in Salt, press it, and it accepts that as the deck. All right. So it accepts it as the deck. And so then it pulls up the game boards, the BattleGround Heroes game board, and of course mine. As they work through their moves, it shows the move at the bottom of the screen, like obviously they summon this card, and then from there, the screen reloads and pushes it to the bottom, so you can just stay at the bottom. It'll kind of show that for you. So you press draw, and it draws the cards. Then you can press play. You can also press hand if you want to view all your cards, but when you go to play, at the very beginning, since you have so little Celestial Stones, you don't have much options, so I just press play instead of viewing first. So I play that. That's the only one I'm able to play, and then I'll just press end turn. And so then, as I showed, reloads everything at the bottom, so it just keeps it from being cluttered and kind of losing your place. And so let's see what the bot decides to do. Oh, Giant. Giant is the most OP first start, because you can see the great ratio here, 2x ratio for the attack, 4x ratio for the health. So that thing is a unit. But hopefully the rest of this goes a bit better. Also, what is important to note is you do draw your cards every time. Every time you start your turn, you press draw. You can choose a card to sacrifice. Obviously, I have none, but I generally don't like to sacrifice anyways, so you just press done, and then it gives you the option to play cards again. But it's important to note that when you are beginning here, I do want to pay attention to what I'm playing, but I only have 7, so I'm just going to play my 1-cost card again, and just to keep them from attacking my my main, or not my main, but my hero itself. It's not really a hero, but like my avatar. You can see I have 5,000 health here, and so if I have this 1 card here, then they'll be able to pretty easily take it out. But then after they take it out, then they can hit me. But since each unit only gets 1 attack per turn, each card gets 1 attack per turn, then they can only hit my avatar, or my player, I guess, 1 time, no matter what. Since they have 2 cards, I have 1. So we'll end our turn there. As I was saying, though, and I keep getting distracted, and maybe I'll edit this down so it's less confusing, but when they attack me, my card counterattacks, because it's not my turn, so it doesn't attack the full amount, but it will counterattack for half of its attack. So it can counterattack, as you see it has 100, it can counterattack for 50. And so that's important also to note when you're thinking of what card you want to attack in total. And second player, if the person has like a decent lineup of cards, is at a disadvantage. I'm gonna go like, I don't know if I'll go quiet at some point of this, because I do not want to lose against a bot right now. I will, of course, play through this full duel. I have 13 Celestial Stones, so I am gonna view my hand right now just to see what I can play for 13. And so it shows all the cards. I do not have... Okay. So as you can see, I can play the 10-cost card, and then I'll probably play my 1-cost card as well. The 10-cost being the Elzar Leonheart. And I don't think, yeah, that thing will be really good. I'm actually not going to play the 1-cost card. I'm only going to play that card. And the reason, I'm going to press down, of course. All right, play card. And we'll choose to play this. Now, it doesn't list it. This is important too. It doesn't list the name when you choose like the card to play, but they are in order. And so when you view your hand, you can see in order, this number 10 cost card comes before the next one. And so when you go to play card, then it will, you want to tap this one, card number 6, and it'll play that card. This is a feature that I believe they're going to update pretty soon, because it's kind of sometimes hard to keep track of which card you're playing. But when you do know this like little rule that it is in order, it's not very difficult to keep track of. But so the reason I'm going to only play that card is because if I play my 1-cost card, first of all, it'll cost me 1 cost, and then they can, of course, attack it. But my card counterattacks for 1,000. So none of their cards, and it has 1,500 health. So in total, they have to attack me at least 3 times to take me out, and it will counterattack and finish most of the cards that they attack me with. And because I'm not sure how good the AI duel is, if they were smart, it would attack with the 3-cost card, and then let's see, Berserker and Cannibal. But I don't know, I haven't played against it, so I'm hoping it attacks with the Lesser Water Spirit, because then they'd have to attack with 4 cards, I'm pretty sure. If I'm just doing like math in my head, very, very rough math in my head. So I'm gonna see how it works. I'm not sure how well the AI plays, and I'm hoping it doesn't play well, because I do need a little bit of help here. Okay, so it attacked with the Giant first, you can see at the bottom. Then it attacked with the Cannibal, which is what I was saying it should. So then, is it going to attack with the Berserker? Then it attacked with the Lesser Water Spirit. Did I? Yeah, and so now it has to attack 4 times instead of 3. And so that's why I was hoping if I just play that, then it would have to attack 4 times, leaving only the Giant at 200 health, because I counterattacked for the... Okay, and it's playing these lower cards. And because my 10-cost card was able to counterattack so much, now I'm at 20 Celestial Stones. And as you can see, as they play, then it updates. And so sometimes it hops around, and it's a bit interesting to get a feel for, constantly like looking at the bottom to see the updates, and then you can scroll up and kind of see the actual cards and the cardboards. So yeah, I have 18. I want to look here. Their highest damage is 7, highest health is 6, because the Giant's down at 200 now. So, and it shows it right here. Every one of their cards right above my game board, it'll show how much health they have, their card cost, card health, and card damage, as well as what I have for total Celestial Stones, what they have for total Celestial Stones, my total player health, and theirs. So draw. For this, I have 20, so I want to keep that in the back of my mind here. And I'm going to look at my hand, because I do need to check out what cards I have drawn, and if I want to play something a bit different here. I do have, let me see. So they could hit for a total of a bit under 2,000 damage. And so a decent play would be to simply only play the Shirakar, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play a card, costs 18, and this way I kill all their cards and they kill none of mine. So when you do this, I'm going to end my turn there. When you do this, it's pure profit for me. Now, at the end of this, because my card will be a little bit low, I can choose to sacrifice it if I have enough high damage cards in queue to use after it. Otherwise, I think it is more beneficial to simply keep this card, even if it is low health, and it will be semi-low health, as a card to just simply attack until it dies. Because this is a pretty high damage card early game, and so that's what I like to do. I like to just keep attacking until they're completely gone, unless I have something I can swap in that's better, and then I'll sacrifice. Because when you sacrifice your card, you get 100% back of what it cost, but if it dies, you only get 50% back. And I believe I mentioned that. I just didn't mention the sacrifice part. And that's just at the beginning where it says if you want to they played the same card. So yeah, I have now they summon the same card that I already have, but mine is already damaged. So I can simply, if I have a 3K card within my hand to take that out, or like 2 lower cost cards that can add up to 3K damage, I can do that. Or I can simply use my card against their direct card and take that out as well, pretty easily as well. Let's see, I have 19 Celestial Stones, so I want to keep track of how, and obviously I'm not going to sacrifice that card right now. It's not worth it. It still has 1,300 health, so because theirs would counterattack with 1,500, I'm not sure if I want to attack that, but what I'm going to do is just look at my hand and see if I have another option. I'm at 19. What's my 10 cost? I can play, technically I could play my 10 and my 8 cost card, and they would be able to take that out. The issue is, if I do that, it would be for an even amount. Like, it costs 18 to play my 10 and my 8 cost card, and then to take it out. So it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, which one I do. So I'm just gonna keep my 10 and my 8 cost card, just so that I have cards in my hand to play. Sometimes it's nice to just have multiple cards versus like 1 or 2 more powerful cards. But let me play my 10 cost card as well. And then I'm gonna end up attacking with my Shirakar. And obviously I'm gonna attack the big guy. And so they'll basically cancel each other out. And I'll just, let's see, still have 10 Celestial Stones. So is it worth playing another card here? 600. I could play the 6 cost card. Let me do that, because I can always sacrifice it later, but I might need it this next round. And that is something that I also like to do. If I have the Celestial Stones for it, then I almost might as well play a lower cost card just to fill that slot, because maybe they'll fill all their slots with low cost cards. And it gives you an option to be able to take out some of those low cost cards versus, they played Helion Jinx. Okay. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep a semi-decent commentary while also keeping track of how I'm playing here. So, okay. They're gonna attack. Okay, let me just keep at the bottom and we'll see the updates here. So yeah, they attacked it, my Veil Fiend, and he was able to counterattack and take out that unit as I expected. And then they played that 1 cost card. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good play. So this is kind of, they're doing what I was saying, where after my card counterattacked, then they lost their card. And then they filled that slot, even though they could have, saved the Celestial Stones or whatever, they filled it so that there's no chance of me being able to attack their player. So that's actually, it's a solid play here. And worst case scenario, it's a 1-cost card, so it's impossible to lose Celestial Stones on it. If it was like a higher cost card, then it's an even split, and so you'd only get back half the amount. So what I'm gonna do here, my Veil Fiend has 400 health. I'm gonna attack the okay. I'm gonna attack Helion Jinx with my, and I'm gonna struggle with this name, the Caesorian Mazriel. Let me get my draw in first. So draw, not gonna sacrifice anything. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attack with this one first because that's 1600. And the reason I'm using this one is because when Helion Jinx counterattacks, it won't be able to fully take out the unit. It'll still have a little bit of health with it, so I'll keep that for next round. Then, unfortunately, I do have to attack with the Veil Fiend for the second highest unit, and that will be able to kill it because it only has 400 health left on it. Unfortunately, but that's totally fine. Then going into these last ones, I like to focus the ones, if I have a choice between taking out which one, I like to focus the one that's worth more Celestial Stones, so I get more for the attack. I don't want to play a card yet, sorry. Let me go attack, actually. So I attack with this one, and I'm gonna attack the 4-cost card right there. Perfect. And so, and then it just reloads the game boards with the final thing there. I'm gonna view my hand here because I have 32 Celestial Stones, and I want to see if I have, okay. They also have a decent amount of Celestial Stones, and so I think it's a good idea here to play my big cost card, the Shadon, for 26. And this is because if they play a large unit and I am unable to take it down, it could prove difficult to make a good comeback here. And you notice there, I didn't end my turn. It's because there's a timer. I believe it's a 2 or 3 minute timer. And so if you take too long, it'll just turn the turn over to the next person. So the good thing I got the card down in time. I was taking my time. I'm trying to describe kind of my thought process out loud for you guys here. And so the bot was like, all right, you're taking too long. Let's swap it back. But okay. So that's interesting. The bot actually attacked Shadon, the highest card, when it could have possibly survived a lower cost card. Okay, that's interesting. I wouldn't necessarily do that personally, but I don't see a huge issue with it. So, he's got 250 health. Okay, so I want to keep my Caesorian Mazriel, my 10-cost card, for another round. That's a decent card right now, and I don't have a lot of options for swapping it out, even though I do have the Celestial Stones too. So I'm not going to sacrifice anything right now. What I'm going to do, let me view my hand. I have 33. I want to see if there's something good that is circled through that I can play right now. This is a really fucking good card. So, yeah. So this is a really great card. The Alaria. I struggle with these. I struggle with these these names. They're cool names, but yeah, I struggle with them. But anyways, yeah, this legendary card right now, great card. I'm gonna end up playing that. So let me get my attacks in before it tells me that I've taken too much time. So I'm gonna attack with this one, and I'm gonna attack the highest unit right here. Then I'm gonna use the Caesarian Masril 4 and let it reload here. Let's see. I could attack either one. I'm gonna attack the Swordmaster. So it doesn't really matter. Either card could take out either one without dying. So, but I'm gonna choose the Swordmaster. Actually, you know, I'm gonna attack the Priest, just because it'll give a bit lower of a counterattack. And if for some reason I need the Caesarian Masriel for next round to also survive, then I'll just keep that in queue. So the Water Spirit will attack the one with slightly more attack, therefore slightly more counterattack. But either way, they could both take it out. It's not a huge decision whether to keep either one. So yeah, play card, and I'm gonna play the one that I was saying earlier, the 9-cost card, down at the bottom here. And the reason I'm playing the 9-cost card versus the 14-cost card is you can see the 14-cost card does not have a good ratio, and that's the one I showed you guys earlier. I'm gonna end my turn there. The Armored Ogre, not a great ratio for health, great ratio, or not a great ratio for damage, sorry. Great ratio for health. And so I'm not really wanting to use that right now. But let's see what the bot does. All right, so interesting strategy. The bot obviously has enough Celestial Stones to do more than this, play more cards, but they only play the 2 and then end it there. And they're not like high damage cards either. So I'll take out the Force Elf with my Water Spirit and my the Undead Scavenger with the Caesarian Masriel, and then I'll kill the dude because he won't have enough. So draw. Won't sacrifice. Go straight to attack. That I will attack the weak card here. Then I'll do attack again. Just has to update the game board. So I'll attack with my second weakest card. And that'll slay that. It'll reload the game board. So now you can see they have nothing left. And then I will attack with my 2 higher damage cards, and that will be game, I believe. BattleGround here's bot. Then I will attack one more time because it has a total of 5,000 health. So I need to attack with the 2,000 damage card as well. And that should be a good game. Yep. And honestly, AI feature worked really well on that. You don't get rank points for this. It's kind of just like a practice. It's a good way to test out different decks, different strategies that you want to try out. It does say that it was defeated, but it still keeps the game board up. So I'm not sure if it always does that, but it does kind of let you view what you did. What I mean by the rank points is when you do a rank duel, so you can choose duel and then any opponent. Right now, the only one online is BattleGround's Heroes bot. But let's do that. When you go to mode, rank duel, I don't think it lets you duel the bot for a rank duel, only that you have to choose the AI duel. But for rank duel, then you have to choose a real opponent, and then of course you can wager, like I said earlier. But that gives you MMR points. Don't ask me what MMR stands for. It's something that I forget. But basically, then you can go view the leaderboard, LB. And when you do that, it shows leaderboard for cards. But when you go to the third section, it goes leaderboard for MMR. As you can see, I am number 2. And that's because some guy fed Skip ass loads of points. And so I would be number 1, guys. Just gotta, but it'll be reset when the bot's like publicly released anyways, so it doesn't matter a ton. That is pretty much it, guys. Kind of went through everything, thought process, whatever. So I guess I'll give you the general end of video spiel. If you like the video, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all that other bullshit. You don't have to, but I would definitely recommend joining my Discord. You can play the bot inside my Discord server, but also inside of the main BattleGround Heroes Discord server, which will both be linked in the description of the video. So I hope you enjoyed, hope you appreciated the effort I put, whatever. I'll see you guys next time, and maybe release more content on BattleGrounds, but we'll see. Just more of a tutorial video this time.